Hi there, Editing Parker here. This video is from April. Things happening all at once. I considered not even posting it and just letting it go by the wayside, but I remember coming into myself and looking around on YouTube and trying to find other people who were in their 30s and also doing creative works, just living their lives and trying to find guidance in that. And you can find a lot of people in their 20s, in their early 20s, or in their late teens, and that's wonderful. That is amazing, and I am so excited to see more people just taking to the creator space. But I wanted more people my own age in their 30s celebrating being colorful and also being corporate humans and doing other things. So I thought to myself, I longed to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead and share it. So this video is gonna be a little more chill, a little bit more advice-y for those in their 30s. I hope you enjoy. Gonna give it back to regular Parker. Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to the channel. My birthday is tomorrow. Every year for my birthday, I like to do a photo shoot just to kind of capture where I am in my life, the artistic direction that I'm taking. One of my favorite artists, Alex Gray, he started doing self-portraits every year on his birthday, and the archive of the images is gorgeous. Highly recommend if you've never seen it. You probably are most familiar with his work on the Tool 10,000 Days album. Just visually stunning. So every year I've been doing my own birthday shoot, and this year I think I know exactly what I want to do. There is this scene from Final Fantasy VII with Aerith in the Church of the Slums, I believe it is. Just the light pouring through the windows, and she's surrounded by all these beautiful calla lilies, and I love lilies. They are my favorite flower. I have 3 of them tattooed on my side. So I want to do something big and grand and essentially use a lot of the natural light that just pours into my house in the mornings and shoot something. So I need to get the headpiece all set up for that, along with one of the accessory pieces all done. And that way I can shoot it first thing tomorrow morning. I plan to take you behind the scenes, so that way you can see kind of what I do for self-shoots. And maybe we'll even get into a little bit of editing, just a little bit. A couple of ideas, but here are the materials that we know for certain are going to be needed. Got some ribbon. Usually I like to use this ribbon. I've been calling it my goddess ribbon because I got it to make the Oshun headdress for my girl Black Unicorn cosplay. I used it again in my original design of VII. I'll explain VII and all of those entities later. And I also used it on Hathor. Hold on a second. The horns that I made for Hathor all along the base here, it was just the last of the bit that I had, and unfortunately I am all out of it, which is a real shame because it is super handy and it's just beautiful. It's easy to decorate and I love it. I love it. New skewers, got these from the dollar store. Got our cutting utensils and some needle nose pliers. Yes, very essential. Some straight pins and not so straight pins. Got a little super glue, some hot glue. This is what we call the frosting box. Adding some music, something there, something grand, dramatic. You know, the frosting box deserves attention. I know you have no idea what it is, but my followers over on Instagram do. I consider a project a cake. You need to make sure you have great cake, because it doesn't matter if you've got 1,000,000 pounds of frosting like gems and rhinestones, which are all the fancy things in here, if your cake sucks. So we call this the frosting box. This is the after the cake is made box. This has got all of the gems, all of the sparkle, all of the beading wire and trims, all of that good. Ooh, ah. And it breaks down so that I can see everything and all my sparkles and arrange the containers. I highly recommend if you need to carry something like this or you work with a lot of sparkle yourself, you know? We're gonna set those aside, because first we need to bake this cake. For our main centerpiece, we are going to be using flowers. Ooh, ah. These are just things that I've collected over the years. No need to go and get new flowers. I clearly have plenty. I think I'm gonna go for something that kind of accentuates the sides and juts out. I really love that look. It frames the face nicely rather than like an overarching headpiece. I do love those too. I've made quite a few. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. This is just the most efficient way to do this. Oh, it's in my coffee. Oh no. Oh no. I got most of this foliage when I was building Tafiti. Let's go ahead and move that coffee so we don't do that again. Eventually they all get used. One of these nice big ones, I want to see if I can find another match to this. All right. I can't see another one like this, but I did make one for something else, and I think I'm going to go rob it right now. All right. Got the other flower. Oh, jeez. This one has a stamen, this one does not. We're gonna see how this looks. I'll be right back. I can't see anything in that viewfinder. Yes, I think this will work. She's giving floral princess. We love it. But I also really like these flowers. So I think I'm going to take one of these, since we don't have a stamen in this one, and layer it up. Oh, yes. Yes. Experiment. Make some impossible flowers. No one's gonna know. It's your headdress. Do what you want. What are you? It says spring bushes. Real descript. It's just a spring bush. You know what these are? Or I can't think of the name for them, but yeah, if you want to just slap that inside of a lily, boom, make your own flowers, you know? Oh, I love that. Yeah, I like that. That feels good. That feels real good. I'm still gonna need these nearby to decorate extras, but we've got the main flower identified, and that is key. So I saw this sprig in there, and I've clearly already taken the flowers from it. And I think I might actually try to use this as my headband. It would look more organic, and that's super cute. And I would also get to recycle in the process. And you know I love that. I got it. I got it. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me just clip here. Sits nicely, grips my head. Unless I do that, but that's okay. We're not gonna do that. All right, let's start to glue on some stuff. So since this part is all hot glue, just give, I guess, a little life update or what have you. Getting to know you with Parker projects. I am coming up on 34. That's how old I am turning. And I am not one of these people who has angst about being in my 30s. I grew up way too fast, and I never really felt in place with a lot of people my age when I was younger. My mom is also, she was 36 when she had me. So I am used to just older people in my life, older women in my life. It's, in my opinion, a very soothing space to be, because at least when I was younger, older people had things so much more figured out. I found they gave the best advice and they told the best stories, and I am honored to continue to grow into myself and to be a part of that. My youth was great. I had a wonderful time. I did the absolute most. And I'm excited every year that I get a little bit older and I get to be more of who I want to be, because you don't have the same autonomy in your early 20s or your late teens that you do when you're in your 30s. You don't have to have everything figured out. That's such a ridiculous lie. Most people don't. That's getting a lot harder, especially as the world continues to evolve or devolve the way that it is. It's a lot of generational shift. And you go it at your own pace. That's really all that you can do. So if you are getting near your 30s and you're panicked about it or you're worried about it, don't worry about it. It's freaking awesome over here. It takes a little getting used to, like everything else in life. I don't know why these aren't sticking together. This should be super simple. It's like hot glue, those flowers stick. A little more glue, see if that helps. Directly to this flower, create a little barrier in there. See if that will do it. The best thing I could say about your 30s that you should do, if I had to give any sort of advice, start to realize the things for which you no longer have time. That includes, at least for me, for people who like to pretend that emotions are not real and that you should just shove them down, which is not realistic and it doesn't actually help anybody or anything. So I don't understand why a lot of people continue to do it. You're a human, not a sociopath. It's okay to address your feelings and admit that you have them. I no longer have time for people who do not understand that. I no longer have time to pretend that I am somebody that I am not. I really don't. I don't think that I mean, I did. I didn't realize that I was doing it at the time, but I did. I tried doing the conventional thing, the straight-laced wife and whatever thing. Not super conventional because Husbando and I are just not conventional people, but still it just wasn't fulfilling. I'm a colorful person. I am meant to be doing things like this. Enough hot glue and you can get it to stick. Wow. You know what though? I am just going to put a pin in this, quite literally. If it doesn't quite stick, that's okay. I just need this headdress for one day. That is also one of the magical things about turning 30, where you get better at understanding that energy is finite. It is not this continually renewable resource, and you only have so much of it in so many hours in a day. So wasting your time on things that are just not that important or that are not necessarily going to advance you along in your path are just not worth it. This is a temporary thing. It does not require me to give craftsmanship level attention to detail and all of this extra stuff that I would usually give to other things. But life is not a competition. A lot of people like to pretend that it is, but it really isn't. There are competitions for a reason, and life is just not one of them. I no longer have time for people who want to act like every moment is a competition for something. I simply don't have the energy. Get a lot better at distributing where your energy goes. At least I did in my 30s. I would say, if anything, that's a really good goal to focus on if you're not sure what to think about your 30s or where to go with it. Focus on the things that you can let go of that don't service you and don't serve your energy or your time very well. Not everything requires maximum energy. It really shouldn't. Sometimes you just do things because they're fun and they make you happy, and that's good too. Bada boom. They look like little floral earmuffs. I love it. Realize, just kind of repeating the same thing. It might not work, but that's okay. We're gonna see if it does. On the off chance that this works, it'll save me a lot of time and heartache. And I'm using an ice cube to freeze the hot glue, really lock it in place. It's still gonna have to dry on the inside because I just kind of globbed it in there, but at least the ice cube will speed up that process a bit. Hot glue is definitely one of those things that you should try to advance your techniques and do other things, but hot glue has a lot of practical application and it is so accessible. I think it's amazing, but you need to know when to use it. Some items it bonds really well to, others it does not. Some it needs particular bonding help, others it does not. Because hot glue is a thermal plastic, it bonds extremely well to other plastics and porous items. It doesn't bond very well to things like metal or glass. You can bond those items to other items, but it's going to require creating some sort of edge binding with the hot glue onto the item. Flower earmuffs. And I realized that I probably should have checked the direction on these before I got them on here, but I'm just so excited to get them on here. Oh, I feel precious. I can't even see myself, but I feel precious. I love them so much. Now that I've allowed the flowers to lead me, I am going to start working on the bamboo skewers. I've been very inspired by Your Forager lately, but as much as I love her, it's unlikely that I would ever cosplay her. I have been seeing this gorgeous design by Hannah Alexander in her own original styling of Your. And I want to incorporate some of that with these skewers, so I'm just going to do a bit of a loose structure, and there's no real plan. I'm just going for what looks great on spacing, and then I'm going to add a little hot glue, use a little parchment paper and an ice pack to get that to freeze into place. And then I'm going to layer on some additional skewers in a angled manner, using again the hot glue and the ice pack to freeze it in place. I created 4 skewer clusters, and now I'm just going over them with some gold airbrush. And now it's time to attach the painted clusters and the gems using hot glue and various super glues as needed. There's no real plan when it comes to sparkle. We go where the shine leads us. If it seems like it could use a sparkle, we're gonna put a sparkle on it. As a self-taught person, I can't really say that there's ever a plan when it comes to the bedazzling that I do. I go where the sparkle leads. You just kind of got to get in there and get your hands dirty, and you're going to make some mistakes, and sometimes you're going to make some really ugly pieces. But you'll get to learn, and you won't know, and you can't grow unless you try. So get in there and try. Due to a communication error, I ended up with this copy of my wedding dress without a lining, so that is what I will be shooting in today, with some tights. I also decided to include the ice sword that I made for Esdeath, because ice sword, and I made it, and look at it. Yeah. April Parker also forgot to shoot an outro, so here I am, just to say thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see live updates on what I am up to in real time, please go follow me over on Instagram. If you would like to see some behind the scenes stuff and see a lot of the stuff before it even gets to the social platforms, you can go see me on Patreon. Thank you so much to my patrons, Ko Windriel and Paula. I appreciate you guys so much. Well, my friends, that's the end, but we'll be back to craft again, especially if you like, comment, and subscribe.